And we welcome you live here down the paddock here in Canada. We welcome you live here in Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. We got an 18-minute qualifying and then I believe it is give me one second, 35 lap race here around the street circuit in Montreal. As last season we saw a great finish between Grant Ward and Royce Crown. Both of them are racing tonight here in Canada. We'll see if we have a repeat of last season, but we got many new drivers and a much bigger field than what we had a season ago. We had 6 drivers last season. We got 10 drivers this season. So, yeah. See people making their way out on track. There is Jonathan Hibbett out on track here. First car out on track in that Red Bull. Still yet to win a race in Florida Allegiant. Could he maybe go for a win here tonight? We'll just have to find out. Time will tell. Yeah, here he comes, heading up into this chicane. He has a bunch of chicanes at this track. It's really all this track I feel like is, and then like a few hairpins, or like 2 hairpins at opposite ends of the track. Yep, there's Jonathan Hibbett making his way down the back stretch, you could say. And last time these drivers raced around here into the Wall of Champions, there was a crazy finish. Jonathan actually almost won this race last season. He had a photo finish with Royce Crown after both Royce Crown and Grant Ward made contact with each other, and in the Wall of Champions, Jonathan was almost able to go right through it, take the win, but he also had a 3-second penalty to his name, so it wouldn't have worked out probably anyways. But it was a really close finish, but obviously a 3-second penalty, it didn't really count, but it was probably the closest finish in Formula Allegiant history. It would have been if it weren't for Jonathan Hibbett's penalty. But on track, it definitely was. But yep, 15.5 minutes left here in qualifying. Hibbett makes his way through here. Lap time's fairly short around this track. It's a fairly short track here around Canada. Probably one of the shorter tracks of the season. That does not mean this track is easy. It's probably one of the trickier tracks on the schedule too. It's not like a typical street course though. You have grass at this track. It is a street course though, but it's not a typical street course where there's just walls everywhere. There is grass, but closest wall is probably right here on the Wall of Champions. Off that corner, really easy at the wall, but Jonathan up to the line, so 109.8 in that Red Bull. That's actually a pretty solid lap, I believe, from Jonathan Hibbett. We'll see. We'll see how everyone else will be able to do. Royce Crown about to finish his lap. Second car over the line. He sits at 109.3 in that Williams. As yep, Royce Crown goes top of the board. Only 2 cars have made a lap though here in Canada, as that would be Landon Baranow trying to go around him. But Landon Baranow just came out of the pits, I believe. Yep, he just came out of the pits, so he's heading out on track here to start his first run. There's Maddox Beard. We're gonna watch Grant Ward. I was gonna watch him, but he's slowing down, boarding his lap. As Dylan Fake over the line to 109.3, not able to get to Royce Crown's time. The 2 championship rivals from last season are both 1 and 2 on the board and less than a 10th apart. Going back to Maddox Beard though. Beard got so close last time out in Mexico. Got so close in Spain also 3 races ago. And now Beard is looking to still get that the elusive first career win in Formula Allegiant. Same with his teammate Jonathan Hibbett. The 2 Red Bull drivers yet to win a race in Formula Allegiant. Will one of them be able to do it tonight? What a story it would be for any of those 2 Red Bull drivers to win. Red Bull has not won since Dylan Fake's last win, which I believe his last win. I'm not even sure when his last win was, but it was sometime late season 2, and now they have not won yet in Season 3. Probably the most successful team in former Allegiant history so far, and they just haven't been able to pull off a win this season. Both the drivers have not had the best luck in former Allegiant. Here comes Magic Spirit. Had a little bit of a slide off the hairpin, but as he makes his way down the backstretch into the Wall of Champions, let's see what Magic Spirit can do, as Grant Ward also just went up to 3rd on the board. There's a bit of shuffling around on the board, but here comes Magic Spirit. What can he set? He goes to 3rd with a 109.4. Solid lap for Magic Spirit. Not too far off. He's actually right around a 10th off of Royce Crown's time exactly. It's 0.99 off of Royce Crown's lap time. As something I do want to point out, Bradley has been given a quali ban after multiple incidents last time out in Mexico. And yeah, he's going to be starting from the back of the grid, but Benji Bone got that Imola, and he was able to get up to the top 5 by the end of like lap 2. So we'll see if Bradley can do the same, but he's going to be starting from the very back of the grid. Billy Kreger, your championship leader after last race in Mexico, also your defending race winner. He's not gone out on track yet, but you see the Ferrari crew. We're getting those wheel covers off, and here he comes. Right as we say that, he's about to head out on track. So here he comes, gonna make his way out of the garage. Right in front of, I believe that is, I think that was Ryan Ocon coming into the pits. Pit lane's gonna be pretty busy. Both Red Bulls coming into the pits at around the same time. You see, almost everyone's in the pits. Only Royce Crown is out on track, but he's going to be heading into the pits here shortly. Yep, he's heading into the pit lane. Williams is currently top of the board right now in his home race in Canada. Canadian driver looking to go 2 for 2 at Canada. But, yep. Or I believe he actually raced, he probably raced season 1 actually, so I guess 2 for 3. We're trying to go for back-to-back wins in Canada. Obviously Sam Lewis won season 1. And Sam Lewis won any race he did in this league, and he got 13 wins in a row. Don't think that record's going to be broken with the most consecutive wins for sure. We never know, we could maybe see it, but yeah, that would be, I believe that's Sean Hibbett and Grant Ward heading out on track at like the exact same time. Grant Ward is looking for some redemption though from last season. You know he's gonna want this win. He was kind of robbed from it last season a little bit. I mean, it was an interesting battle on the final lap because Royce Crown ghosted through Grant Ward and took the lead on the final lap, but then Grant Ward had a look at him in the Wall of Champions and obviously got himself turned around into the barrier. But yeah, Grant Ward's gonna hope for maybe to go for a win here tonight. He's had pace. He had really good pace at Mexico. Probably could have won last time out of Mexico, but leaders just had issues with Bradley's checkup on the safety car. And the people behind them could not react, and that was Dylan Fake right behind Bradley. Same with Grant Ward, who both were left with wing damage on lap 5 of the Mexican Grand Prix. But we'll see in the Canadian Grand Prix if it'll be different. So here comes Grant Ward. Gonna start his second lap of the session. We got 8 minutes and 45 seconds left here in qualifying. And Grant Ward setting his second lap here in qualifying. We'll see where can he go. Currently the fastest of the people out on track right now in terms of lap times so far. As here comes Grant Ward making his way through here. Seems like a pretty solid lap. We're gonna ride on board with him in that Aston Martin. A car Grant Ward's definitely very familiar with. Obviously equal performance, doesn't really matter, but definitely a car he's used to seeing though. Oh, lock up a little bit. Actually, no, he still was able to make the corner though. pretty regular F125 physics right there, I guess. But yeah, as here he comes, making his way down the backstretch and into the wall of champions. Will this be an improvement for Grant Ward? It may be. It's out of the wall of champions. Where can Grant Ward go? Seems like a very solid lap. Gonna cut the distance as much as possible, and he goes top of the board. Well, with a 109.1. What a lap from Grant Ward. But will he stay there by the end of qualifying? That was a great lap from Grant Ward. Goes top of the board. And yeah, it goes from 4th all the way up to top of the board. But Dylan Thake is setting his second lap of the session now in that Ferrari. Surprisingly, that Ferrari actually doesn't look too different to the 2026 Ferrari scheme that just got announced today. It's a little bit different, obviously, with the white, how it's designed. I kind of wish they designed it like that, but yeah. As a Ferrari fan myself, hopefully they do good, but they're doing definitely really good in this league. They're currently top of the constructors, Dylan Thake and Billy Kruger being their Ferrari's lineup for this season of Formula Allegiant. But here he comes, Dylan Thake. See what he can do. Seems like a pretty nice lap from the British driver. As here he comes, heading down the backstretch here. What can Dylan Thake do? As here he goes, DRS open and heading up into the wall of champions. Can make or break your lap. Seems very clean though from the Ferrari. Keeps it off the wall and heading up to the line. Could he take pole position, provisional pole? He can with a 108.9. And he goes top of the board over Grant Ward. Track's definitely speeding up by the minute here in Montreal. And who will take pole? Right now, Dylan Thake now just went up to provisional pole in the 108. That is a great lap from Dylan Thake. Definitely a lap I probably couldn't set. Yeah, we'll see though. Could anyone set that time? Crowd goes into the 108s also. 108.9. They're almost dead even at the top of the board. Crown also has some wing damage. I don't know where he got that. He might have got it. I wouldn't be surprised if he got it in the Wall of Champions, to be honest. But luckily, the Wall of Champions is like at the right at the end of the lap, so it probably wouldn't have. Probably didn't hurt him too much, but it might have hurt him enough to not go top of the board. They're almost dead even. It'd be kind of crazy if we got a tie just like they did in, what was it, 2024 in real life. We'll see. Probably not going to happen, but you never know. As here's Maddox Beard on his lap. He is currently at a 109.1. Can he get into the 108s? Track seems very quick right now. As here he comes, the Red Bull makes his way through the I guess the third chicane. You have to look at the corner names, to be honest. I don't know if there's much at this track though, but here he goes, heading up into the hairpin. We're gonna see a lot of dive bombs probably. But maybe it's not as much as you'd think, because there's DRS right after. You don't want to lose the DRS from it. As here comes Maddox Beard, making his way down the backstretch. Is this a good lap from Maddox Beard? We can go ahead and pull up the lap data, as he's going to head to the pit, support that lap. I don't know if he was on a lap. I don't think he was. I also completely forgot to put out the lap data, but we're going to have it on here for the final runs here in qualifying. And yeah, both Red Bulls heading into the pits here in Canada. It's all right. Grant Ward heads out on track fairly early, and this will probably be it for Grant Ward. Probably trying to make sure he won't get caught up in any traffic here in Canada. Just wants to make sure he can get a good lap on the board. He's the fastest out of the people on the 109s. Could he get into the 108s? It's probably going to be a high 108. That's probably what's going to be pole. The pole time. Can Grant Ward get that? He's definitely going to be shooting for it. He's warming up the tires here. Trying to get the tires in the best condition to start his lap. So here he comes. Heading up through the wall of champions here. With the ultimate time in his qualifying. As he starts his lap, what can Grant Ward do? As here he comes. Heading up into turn 1. Kind of cuts it a little bit. I don't know if that was legal. I think it was. But yeah, it didn't look like a great turn 2, though. He kind of missed it a little bit from what it looked like. Is going to hit the grass again. I think that's pretty normal, though, here in Canada, especially with standard track limits. So he's going to back it down. It was not a great lap from Grant Ward. He's going to try it again next lap. I kind of knew after seeing what happened at turn 2, he just wasn't quite quite close enough to the curb there. You want to stay really tight to that curb. From my experience here in Canada, you want to take a really tight exit. That's where the most grip is. Believe it or not, I'm a driver myself. Obviously I commentate this league, but I am a driver myself. But I still don't think I'd be faster. I don't think I'd be quite fast enough to what Dylan Thake's running right now. The 108. I think I'd probably say like a 109 something, but enough about me. Let's go ahead and watch Dylan Thake here. I don't know. I don't know if this is a lap. It might be. He's not far off of his not far. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. He's not far off of his time, but he's gonna back it down. And both Grant Ward and Dylan Thake have both backed it down their laps. And what would that do for their qualifying? Because they're gonna have a little bit worn tires. If Royce Cron could just execute this, he could probably get it, because he'd probably have the best conditioned tires. As here he comes, heading out on track in that special Williams scheme. Not really special at this point. I think that's just what they're gonna run the whole season. Both the Williams, the Gulf Williams scheme. Yep, here comes Dylan Thake. We're going to watch Grant Ward, actually. He's on a lap, but is it going to be faster than that 109.1 he has currently in third? What can Grant Ward do as he heads through the hairpin? He is improving just that little bit, but it's not enough to get to the top of the board. But could he find the time heading up through Sector 3? Sector 3 is basically just all straightaways, all ERS deployed now, and also DRS open. And heading up into the Wall of Champions, here comes Grant Ward. Can he improve? Seems like, oh, he hit the curb a little bit, but it didn't seem too bad. What can Grant Ward do? He takes provisional pole to a 108.7. What a lap from Grant Ward. But will Dylan Thake have anything to say about it? I don't think. Actually, I think this is still, I don't know, did he back it down in his lap again? I don't think he's going to have enough time to get around if he did. And I think this might be it for Dylan Thake. It is. I don't think he's going to be able to make another lap. So Dylan Thake will not be on pole position. Grant Ward currently top of the board as he had clocks in a run out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And, yeah, Dylan Thake not going to be able to set another lap. So he's stuck with that 108.9. All right, here we go. Royce Cron, this is what everyone's going to be watching here. Maybe also Maddox Beard. He is improving a lot. Little lockup, though. We're going to watch Royce Cron first, though, because he is ahead of Maddox Beard on track and also in terms of times. What can Royce Cron do? This is it for Royce Cron. Can he take pole position at his home track? As another Williams stopped right there. Hopefully that didn't screw up Royce Cron too much, but here we go. Heading up through Sector 3. Down the backstretch. What can Royce Cron do in that Williams? Here comes Royce Cron heading up through the Wall of Champions. He'll flick the wheel in, out of the Wall of Champions. Here he comes, up to the line. What can Royce Cron do at his home track? It's pole position so far for Royce Cron, but what can Maddox Beard do? Beard goes to pole. Maddox Beard takes pole position in Canada. And Maddox Beard on pole position in the Canadian Grand Prix. What a lap for Maddox Beard. Oh my goodness, Maddox Beard sets himself up perfectly to maybe go for his first career win in Formula Allegiant. He takes pole position in Canada. What a lap for Maddox Beard, so close to the top of the times. But Maddox Beard takes pole in Canada. Series of results. Beard, top of the board. Royce Cron, second. Grant Ward, I should say, third. Dylan Thake 4th, Jonathan at 5th, Ryan Ocon 6th, Billy Krieger 7th, Landon Baranow 8th, Rainer Ferrer, who never really watched the qualifying, he is 9th, and Bradley, who had the qualifying ban, is going to be starting at the back of the grid. That's your starting lineup here for the Canadian Grand Prix and your qualifying results. Now, who's going to take the race win in Canada? That was a great lap for Maddox Beard, though. A whole 10th up on Royce Crown. I said it was close, but it really was not that close, actually. Close between second and third, but not between Maddox Beard and Royce Crown. But, yep, here we go. Canadian Grand Prix time. Will we see just as spectacular a finish as we had a season ago? Time will tell, as here we go. Look at the paddock here. Fans all waiting and ready to see the start of this race. How this race unfolds. How will round 7 unfold? Billy Krieger, top of the standings by 9 points over his teammate Dylan Thake. The Maddox Beard also is about 15 or so points behind Dylan Thake. So Beard is certainly in the championship fight. But here we go. Formation lap starts. So here we go. This track usually always puts on a show. Obviously, season 1, Sam Lewis won, obviously dominant race from him, but yeah, it was also not a very clean race because we had multiple attempts at that race. We had multiple attempts at the start of the race because lobby, I don't even know what happened. I think there was lobby settings messed up and stuff. We had 3 attempts total. It was kind of not a great first showing for Canada, but last season was a great finish. I'm not so sure if it was like the greatest race. I think it was still a really solid race, but the finish was really the most memorable part of last season. But yeah, this track still, it's just made to put on a show, to be honest. Just the way this track's designed, it just promotes great racing and also a really challenging track for these drivers. And will this track get the best of anyone here on the grid? Maybe the wall of champions could maybe cause some chaos, or maybe any other wall at this track for that sake, but here we go. Maddox Beard gonna lead the field here. Beard has struggled with his race starts though. He's obviously on pole position. He has the advantage, but can he nail this race start? That's probably gonna be the most important part from starting on pole, because you could lose it down in turn 1 if you just mess up the start. Pole won't mean anything if you're not leading probably through turns 1 and 2. But here we go. Canadian Grand Prix. What's going to happen this time around in Canada? Last year we saw a crazy finish. Will we see it again? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's lights down. Away we go. The Canadian Grand Prix is underway. Here we go. Maddox Beard, not a great launch off the line. And Royce Crown takes the lead early here in Canada. As they all file the way, heading up through turn 2, really tight through there, and then heading up into turns 3 and 4, the first chicane. They're side by side. Maddox Beard already down the thread. It's not a good start for Maddox Beard. Here comes Jonathan Ibbett, his Red Bull teammate. 2 Red Bulls side by side here for P3. Here we go. How aggressive will the 2 Red Bulls get with each other? Beard trying to hang on with that really not great race start. He still hangs on in 3rd. Jonathan at 4th. Dylan Thake down to 5th. And Ryan Ocon 6th. And the championship leader, Billy Krieger down in 7th. Bradley, who started at the back of the grid, in 8th. Landon Baranow 9th. And Rainer Ferrer 10th. Here we go, great shot through the hairpin. You see everyone making their way through. And here we go. Royce Crown already. It's a dream start for Royce Crown here to start his home race. here we go. We're just gonna try to stay in that DRS range and look at the top two. It's Royce Crown, Grant Ward, the two people that collided in the final corner last year. We'll be talking so much about it probably this race, but it's just such a great finish. How could you not? As yeah, Royce Crown, Grant Ward might be another rematch between these two. But then you also throw in drivers like Maddox Beard, Jonathan Hibbett, both of them looking for their first career win. Then you have Dylan Thake looking to try to take the championship lead back. And then back in 7th, you have Billy Kreger, who's trying to win twice in a row after winning the Mexican Grand Prix last time out, but not looking like it right now. But you never know what could happen here in Formula Allegiant. There's a huge twist in Mexico on the safety car restart. That's probably how Billy Kreger was able to win the Mexican Grand Prix. You never know what can happen. But here we go, 7/10 the difference here in Canada as they head down the backstretch for the second time today. DRS is open for Grant Ward. Might be a little bit of a DRS train here early on. You see the whole field, just a big snake of cars making their way, heading up through the wall of champions, heading up into turn 1 also for Royce Crown. Yeah, it's just going to be a pretty big DRS train, except for Rainer Freire, who's down in 10th with wing damage on that Sauber. Not sure what happened to Rainer Freire. Maybe hit a wall, maybe hit another car on the start, who knows. But Rainer Freire, unfortunately, down in 10th out of the DRS train. And yeah, he's down in 10th, and unfortunately for him, that's going to be a big setback for him in that Sauber. Here we go. And he got through here. Grant Ward gained a lot of time, a little bit there from on Royce Crown. And he got through that final chicane, heading up into the hairpin. I guess I should say second to last chicane, because I guess the last chicane would be the Wall of Champions. But here we go. It's all there here. Here we go. Oh, is there contact in the back? Is there contact? That's Bradley down. He's in 8th, but he does have wing damage. There might have been contact. I'm not sure what happened down deep in the field. There might have been a little bit of contact. Not sure what happened. Maybe someone got spun around. I'm not sure, but that just broke up the whole field from 5th to 6th. Now it's going to be a DRS train for top 5 and the DRS train for 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Yeah, maybe not, because Bradley's left with damage. It might just be both Ryan Alcon, Lane, and Bear now fighting for that 6th place. It just takes something like that to break that DRS train. And now it's going to be tough for them to get back in it. But here we go, lap 4 here in Canada. Grant Ward hovering around 9/10 behind, but he's really good through here. He gained a lot last time around through that corner. He gained again. So here we go. You see top 5 all making their way through the hairpin. Like I said, one big snake here with these top 5 just making their way around Montreal. And we can go ahead and look at your tires here that everyone started on. Royce Crown, the top 3 all on the hards. Same with Maddox Beard. Yeah, Maddox Beard's in the top 3. What am I talking about? But same with Jonathan Hibbett and a Ferrari. But Dylan Thake, though, elected to go on the mediums to start this race. He's going to be going from the mediums to the hards, likely. I'm assuming this is probably going to be a one-stop race. As they're making moves back here. As here we go, you can see some racing action heading up and through here. Oh, contact between the Williams and the V-Carb. Once again, Bradley not making any friends out here, and through goes Billy Kreger almost. Not sure what happened there. Just really tight through that first chicane. And yeah, Bradley not making any friends out here in Canada. He already didn't make friends out in Mexico, and now making more contact here in Canada. Yeah, gap hovering around maybe 8/10 between Royce Crown and Grant Ward and Maddox Beard. Also right behind them, but look at Dylan Thake, though. Dylan Thake in that Ferrari. Oh! was that Medic Spear? Big slide, he saves it, but now he might be under attack here. So here we go. Dake pulls to the inside, can't get there. Beard shut the door on him, heading up through turn 1. Beard was lucky he did not get past there. That was a big mistake. He had a big slide. It was not the greatest camera work from me, but yeah, that was a big slide from Maddox Beard. But he lives to fight another day here in Canada. I'm not sure what's happened to Jonathan Hibbett. He's dropped back a lot. Might have made a mistake or something, but yeah, now it's just the top 4 who's broken away. While Jonathan Hibbett is now fallen back out of the DRS range to the top 4. Now Beard might be hovering around, not gaining that DRS, although he gained a little bit probably through there, but not enough to get the DRS. And yeah, will there be some action heading up into the Wall of Champions? Because here comes Dylan Fake. Will he be bold enough to make a move heading up to the Wall of Champions on lap 6? Here he comes, gaining, not enough to get there though. They'll brush the wall heading out of the Wall of Champions, but here comes Dylan Fake. Will he look? He has a look. Can't get there though. Beard hanging on in that 3rd place. This track definitely a tough track to pass at. And yeah, you see this little action heading up through off of turn 2. That's Billy Kreger, Bradley, and Lena Barron. Now they're going side by side. Keep it nice and clean though. Bradley doing good defense on Lena Bear now. He's currently 7th right now. Bradley just trying to hang on with the wing damage, but I think, yeah, both Billy Kreger and Bradley have wing damage. I'm not sure what's been happening back here. We've been too focused on the battle for the lead. As here comes Bradley looking to the inside. He takes 6th place on the Ferrari, your championship leader, Billy Kreger. Here comes Billy Kreger looking back to the outside. He gets the spot. But he's going to be vulnerable. Oh, contact between Bradley and Billy Kreger. More contact from Bradley. Bradley not being the cleanest out here to say the least. But here we go. Heading down the backstretch. Will Bradley be bold enough to make a move? Actually didn't get DRS that time. Yeah, I think he was ahead of the DRS zone, but yeah, he didn't get the DRS. I think actually it might have been the Ferrari that got it. Looking back at the battle up front, Dylan Fake has gone around Maddox Beard. We missed that. But yeah, Dylan Fake has gone around Maddox Beard on those BDMs. Those BDMs don't look like they've dropped off at all. Yeah, Beard is kind of struggling out here, I feel like. This tire has seemed like it's dropped off a cliff, similar to Jonathan Hibbett's. Red Bull does not seem really good, even though it's equal performance. Does not seem like they did great with their tire management here today in Canada. Looking back at this battle, though, it's Bradley, Kreger, and Baranow. Here comes Bradley. Oh, Kreger had a look into the chicane, the hairpin. Bradley goes a little wide. And Kreger does get the DRS. He's going to stick behind and maybe make a move into the Wall of Champions. He is definitely close enough to maybe clear him before the corner. And here he comes, gaining. He's going to go to the outside of the V-Carb, the 2 Italian-powered engines. And now, Billy Kreger takes 6th, but here comes Bradley trying to have a look back at him. Here we go. Can't get there though, because Billy Kreger did still have the DRS, because DRS detection zone is for both that straight over the back stretch and the front stretch. As Rainer Ferrer, Ryan Ocon has had a spin. Ryan Ocon has spun around out of turn 2, and Ryan Ocon now drops down to plumb last. Unfortunately, finished P4 last time out in Mexico, but not having a great race here in Canada. Didn't have a great race last season also. Does not seem like Ryan Ocon is a big fan of this track. But here we go. Heading on to lap 10. Royce Crown kind of was broken out of DRS range. Not quite actually to Grant Ward. He did somehow get the DRS. He's still hanging in there. It's definitely a struggle. Had a bit of, that was the rough Wall of Champions, as now Dylan Fake elects to pit. Dylan Thake into the pit lane here. What tires does he go on? I would imagine it would be the hards. Yes, it is. But could he be going for a two-stop? That's something you gotta keep in mind. He might be going for a two-stop strategy. If he pit this early, I mean, I don't think those hards are gonna go like, what is it, 25 laps? I don't think there's a way those hards are gonna go to the end. So I think he's electing to go on a two-stop. Will that be the right call though? Actually, this might be a two-stop strategy race. An F124 is a one-stop strategy race for sure, but on this game it's a little different. Tire wear, I think it might be a two-stop race. We'll see if anyone will be bold enough to go for a one-stop. It might be worth it if you can pull it off. But it's definitely a challenge in this game. But this track does kind of eat up tires a little bit. Here we go. We'll see. I'm sure everyone on the hards that start on the hards are probably going to go pretty long and then switch to the mediums. I don't know what they'll do for the final pit stop. That's something I'm going to keep in mind. It's going to be interesting. So here we go. Lap 11. Grant Ward just hovering around that 0.8 gap between him and Royce Crown. Grant Ward just hasn't quite been in striking distance the whole time on Royce Crown. Royce Crown definitely wants to get, it would be actually his first win of the season, I believe. Royce Crown definitely wants to get this win here in Canada, his home race, just like he won last season. Maybe not a less stressful way, but win's a win. And yeah, Grant Ward's falling back a little bit. 1.6 seconds, 1.7 seconds. Yeah, it looks like those tires have just kind of dropped off. Royce Crown did a great job at managing those hard compound tires. As always, the 3-second penalty for the Ferrari of Billy Kreger. Not sure what happened to Billy Kreger, but yeah, Beard also 5 seconds behind these, behind the top two. I'm not sure what's happened to Maddox Beard. I believe his tires kind of dropped off a cliff, and here it comes to the pits. So Beard definitely also. Oh no, Maddox Beard, 10-second penalties for speeding in the pit lane, and Beard, that might have just ruined his race here in Canada. He's gonna go on to the mediums, but now he's left with a 10-second penalty, and now he's definitely gonna want to hope for a safety car to maybe serve that penalty. Oh, that is unfortunate for Maddox Beard. It's an easy thing to do at this track. I mean, it's really easy. The pit lane comes up really quick, and unfortunately, Beard gets a 10-second penalty. You know he's definitely not going to be happy in that Red Bull. Now, the Red Bull of Jonathan Hibbett inherits third place, but he's still yet to pit. But yeah, I can tell Grant Ward just dropped off a cliff. 2.6 seconds now the gap. I mean, that just shows how big tire management here is here at this track. Now will we see the Williams and the Aston Martin come to the pits maybe this time? Yep, the Williams into the pit lane. Got to make sure to not speed. Briscoe does a good job at that. Same with Grant Ward. And now will Jonathan Hibbett elect to come into the pits? If not, he's probably going to be hunted down by Dylan Thake. And yeah, he stays out. Jonathan Hibbett stays out on those hards. Now Jonathan Hibbett will take the lead here in Canada. Still yet to pit as Dylan Thake just at the fastest lap of the race. This is a huge undercut from Dylan Thake, who is now going to be in the provisional lead. Oh, right, just ahead of the hometown boy of Royce Crown. And now this could be, the fight could be on here for the lead. Yeah, Beard now gained a little bit, obviously on Grant Ward, but 10-second penalty, it's not ideal, but he would still finish in 6th if the race were to end now. Or it might be closer to probably around 5th. Yeah, Jonathan Hibbett still yet to pit. Could he be going for a one-stop? I mean, it's always that thought, but I don't think that's going to be possible considering all the leaders haven't been able to do it. But maybe the Red Bulls will be able to pull it off. We'll see. I doubt it though. Here we come. Heading up into the Wall of Champions. The Red Bull will elect to pit. No, no, he speeds too. And now both Red Bulls are left with 10-second penalties. Both Red Bulls having trouble in the pit lane. And now this is a Red Bull disaster in Canada. And now both Red Bulls left with 10-second penalties. And yeah, that is not good for Beard and Jonathan Hibbett. Can you believe it? Both Red Bulls, who had actually a good pace tonight, I feel like, they are now left with 10-second penalties and hoping for a safety car to serve that penalty. But here we go. Fight up front. It is the Ferrari who's on the hards and on a lot more worn hards than Royce Crown on the one-lap old mediums. See your places gained from the start. Dylan Fake has gained 3 spots. Royce Crown has stayed the same. Grant Ward has stayed the same. And Maddox Beard dropped down 3 places. And Hibbett has stayed the same. There's no moves heading up into the Wall of Champions. But will there be a move heading up into turn 1? Royce Crown right on that rear gearbox. Here comes the Williams. Looking for the lead once again. Will he make the move into turn 1? He does, but can he stick it? Oh, contact! Contact between the 2 leaders. Beard says the fast lap of the race, and now Royce Crown makes contact with his old championship rival, maybe a championship rival this season also, Dylan Fake. Just gets so tight on the entry of turn 1 there. Royce Crown just could not turn that car in time, and yeah, lucky he didn't get wing damage, but that was definitely a big moment between the top 2. And now Beard's up here, but thing is, Maddox Beard has a 10-second penalty. And if he gets a safety car, he could definitely serve it, but he's going to need that. Probably going to need some luck here to win tonight in Canada, unfortunately, after making that mistake on pit lane. But yeah, Dylan Fake is kind of holding up the field on those worn hards. Here we go. Dylan Fake obviously pit much earlier than Royce Crown and Grant Ward. Here comes Royce Crown to the Wall of Champions. That is bold, but Royce Crown will take the lead. Little big slide from Dylan Fake. Almost loses the car, but he keeps it going. He keeps it, both leaders keep it in the right direction. And Royce Crown gets the lead back from Dylan Fake. And Royce Crown takes the lead in his home race. It's just a track that Royce Crown just loves to drive. He loves to drive his home track here in Montreal. And he's looking for his 2nd win in a row at Canada. So here we go. Dylan Fake's still hanging in there, but now Grant Ward's going to be breathing down Dylan Fake's neck. So, yeah, his old yellow flags. What has happened? Not sure. I'm not sure what happened, but something probably happened. Not sure what happened though. So right now, this is fight for 9th. But we're gonna watch the battle for the lead here. It's more important, but yeah, definitely gonna be a battle we want to watch still. Ryan Ocon almost loses the car. He keeps it clean though, and Reina Ferrer. So yeah, Dylan Fake definitely not in striking distance to Royce Crown, but Dylan Fake is hanging in there on a kind of the opposite strategy over Royce Crown. Oh, that's a car spun. That is Maddox Beard. Maddox Beard has spun off the road. What has happened? Red Bull, more issues for both Red Bulls. This is disaster for both Red Bulls, and more disaster probably for Maddox Beard. Now Hibbett is technically in the 10-second range, but he has his own 10-second penalty, so yeah, but that does not help Maddox Beard's case with that 10-second penalty. Is Bradley into the pits. He's going to repair this front wing, and he will get back on with his race. Down in 10th after that pit stop. Yep, here we go. Will there be any moves here? It's going to be harder for Grant Ward to pass the Ferrari of Dylan Fake, because Dylan Fake has DRS on Royce Crown, so it's going to be harder. You won't have the advantage of the DRS. He's going to have to get creative probably, but We'll see what Grant Ward will do to try to get around Dylan Fake. Now top 3 have just broken away after a beard spin and issues between the 2 Red Bulls. Both Red Bulls were in the fight for this win, and now issues for both of them, and now it's narrowed it down to the top 3 fighting for this race win. So look at the rear wing of Royce Crown. You see Dylan Fake just following in his footsteps, but isn't going to be able to get around him. Ferrari definitely has good pace. And he wants to get another win on the season. And this would probably give him the championship lead also if he could win. But yeah, so here we go. Heading up through the hairpin. About halfway through this Canadian Grand Prix. What will Dylan Fake do? 6-7 tenths difference. Here on lap 18, not going to be able to get there probably this lap unless he can get a really good wall of champions. Dylan Fake definitely wants to get back around Royce Crown. Both of them have pretty similar pace. I think the tires now equaled out. I think Royce Crown got the lead though when he needed to, because if he waited a few more laps, I think the tires would have equaled out and would have been much harder for Royce Crown to pass him without the tire advantage. Now the hards are probably starting to come in and being about equal to those newer mediums on Royce Crown. Yeah, so look at the helicopter cam. And now Grant Ward has also dropped back quite a bit on the 2 leaders, so it might be between these 2 for this win, because now Grant Ward has dropped back. Not sure what's happened to the Aston Martin. Maybe his tires have started to get eaten up. So now, between the Williams and the Ferrari, we just keep losing people one by one here in Canada in terms of fighting for the lead. Oh, that's a lock cut from Dylan Fake. He almost lose another one in the fight for the lead. We actually might have, because now he's out of DRS range, I believe, or he might be. Did he get it? I don't think he did. Oh, he did. Okay. Dylan Fake luckily stays in that DRS range. That could have been really bad for his race if he lost the DRS. Probably could have got it back, but it would have been still tough. Probably would have had to use up some tires. That was a slide from Royce Crown, though. Here comes Dylan Fake with a run, but not going to get there. Both leaders make a few mistakes this lap. So here we go. We got 16 laps to go here around Montreal. Who's going to come out on top here in Canada? Will it be the Williams, or will it be the Ferrari, or could it even be the Aston Martin Grant Ward getting redemption from last year? Could it be the Red Bulls? Don't see it happening after their penalties, but you never know what can happen, honestly. Oh, here we go. Here comes Dylan Fake with a run. Can't get there, though, heading up through here. That is another DRS zone you got to keep in mind. Not a typical passing zone, though. But you could always make a pass if you wanted. So here we go. Where will Dylan Fake try to find a way around Royce Crown? Royce Crown's tires have started to drop off a cliff. And here comes the Ferrari. Will he have a look into the wall of champions just like Royce Crown did to him? I don't know if he will. He's not going to have a look. He's going to stay behind. And heading down the front stretch, will Dylan Fake have enough? Not able to get there at a bad corner in that dirty air. And now Grant Ward has made the call to come into the pit lane pretty early, and he's going to go onto the hards, I would assume. Yes, he will. The hards seem like they're the better race tire right now. They just don't fall off as much. I mean, the mediums are a little faster for like maybe 5 laps or so, maybe even less than that, and then the hards just start to come in. I think we're seeing that right now with Dylan Fake. He's just faster in that Ferrari because he's on the hards. And while it's the harder compound tires, this track just eats up tires. I mean, the harder compound tire turns out to be better than the softer compound tires. So here we go. Getting up to the hairpin. We'll see all slide there from Royce Crown a little bit, but didn't affect him too much. But will affect him enough for Dylan Fake to get there. Here we go, down the backstretch once again. Dylan Fake is going to be gaining in that DRS range, but not going to have enough. 14 laps to go in Canada. So here we go. Here comes Dylan Fake. Will he have a look into turn 1? No, he's going to stay behind. He's going to stay put behind that Williams. If Dylan Fake could just find a way around that Williams, he could probably pull away a solid amount before they pit. But Grant Ward might be on to get this lead because he's done this undercut. This is looking great for Grant Ward, who's now in between the two Red Bulls. And now Billy Kreger is right on Jonathan Hibbett's tail. Both with penalties, but the Red Bull has a 10-second, the Ferrari has a 3-second. So, yeah, both of them do have penalties, but right now, either way, Billy Kreger would have 5th if the race ended now. And the Red Bull would have a decent P6. But yeah, let's see. Heading down the back stretch once again. Dylan Fake is closer than ever as here he comes. 3/10 the gap. Will he make a move into the wall of champions? Here he comes. He goes to the inside. The Ferrari makes the move on the Williams, and the Ferrari takes the lead but comes to the pits. They both went to the pits. They both headed to the pit lane. And now, will the Ferrari head onto the hards again? I would assume yes, he will. They're just going to switch to a new set of hards. So now he's going to be even with tires on Royce Crown. But let's see. What will the undercut look like for Grant Ward? Oh, hits the wall. That's not going to help his case. As here we go. The leader's heading out of the pit lane. This might not be a great undercut. Here we go. It's going to be close. Not able to get there. The undercut did not pay off. And yeah, just did not hit early enough to have the undercut work. And now he's just not there. I thought he maybe was going to be on for the lead, but wasn't quite enough. As now Beard into the pit lane. Wonder if he served the 10-second. I have a feeling he did. He's always off the grass. And yeah, he did serve the 10-second penalty. So now, this is his true position. Now, he might have a shot for P6. This actually, I think, works out a little better for Maddox Beard now that he served the 10-second penalty. He's way far back on track, but he maybe could make it up. He could probably get to Landon Barra now. Don't know if he'll be able to get to Jonathan Hibbett, though. But we'll see. As here we go. Fight for the lead. Top 3 all under a blanket here in Canada. Here comes Royce Crown. Oh, it's almost able to get there through the wall of champions. How aggressive will you be, though, here with 12 laps to go here in Canada? How aggressive will you get? This race may come down to the final lap, just like last season. This is looking a lot like last season, actually. So far as yellow flags. What is it for? That's Rainer Ferrari who's hit the barrier, I think. And now he has major wing damage on that Sauber. And yeah, multiple people in the pit lane. I think John Hibbett might have just served a 10-second penalty also. And yeah, a lot of people into the pits. Landon Barron also in the pits. So now Beard is 4th, but he's 21 seconds back to leaders. But we'll see. I mean, Beard, if these 3 leaders have a collision, I mean, Beard could be there. I mean, he's 21 seconds back, but you never know. Never know what can happen. But here we go. And down the back stretch here, Dylan Thick is going to be a tough driver to beat here in Canada. But we'll see. As here we go. 11 laps to go at the line. Lap 25. Heading in these closing stages here in Canada. Will Royce Crown have a look? He's not going to get there. So here we go. We got to turn 2. Both these drivers, all 3 of these drivers honestly seem like they have pretty similar pace. Grant Ward, I feel like it's probably going to fall off though in a few laps because he's on more worn hard, so he's at a little bit of a disadvantage. Beard just set the fastest lap of the race, and that's a 3-second time penalty for Bradley. For multiple warnings. He's going to be fighting Ryan Ocon for the 6th position, but I wouldn't be surprised if Jonathan Hibbett can maybe get up there and fight for 6th. Both Red Bulls trying to salvage as much as they can here. Beard has great pace in that Red Bull. I think he has the fastest 1-lap pace, but I don't know if he has the greatest race pace, just because it doesn't seem like he's been able to manage his tires great enough. Seems like he's just dropped off, but he is pushing hard in that Red Bull. 19 seconds the gap. He's put it under 20 seconds, so that's something. I mean, if he can keep it up, maybe he can get there, but I doubt it. But you never know. Said like a billion times this race, but you never know. So here we go. Especially if these top 3 start battling, that would help Maddox Beard's case. But for reference, how big 19 seconds is, leaders are heading up into the second chicane through that little bend there, while Maddox Beard is just heading up through turn 1. He just set the fast lap of the 1:10.8, so he set another fast lap of the race, and he's flying out there. I mean, he is quick on those hards. Oh, it's contact! That is Bradley in the wall. Bradley is in the barrier. As yellow flags, not a safety car, but that was big. That was a big moment for the World Champions. I'm not sure what happened with Bradley, but now Bradley is now down in 9th, and that was a big moment. Bradley left with a lot of wing damage, and yeah, he must have hit that wall hard. It seemed like maybe he did similar to what Grant Ward did last season. It was in the same corner, but here we go. Fight for the lead here. What can Royce Crown do? He might be there heading up through turn 1. Here we go. This is a big moment. Could Royce Crown get it? No, he can't. I thought he was going to be able to get there. But he's going to stay behind. He's going to stay put behind Dylan Fake. Roles are swapped from about maybe 10 laps ago. Now it's Royce Crown trying to chase down Dylan Fake. And Grant Ward is there when it matters, but is he going to be able to stay there? Because his tires have dropped off a cliff in both stints that we've had this race, both tire runs. Will he be able to do enough to stay in the fight, though? Sometimes that's all you need to do. As here we go. This could be a great finish here. It's shaping up to be a fantastic finish. Oh, Bradley is out. Bradley is out, and there's yellow flags. What is this? Could be this? Oh my gosh, I can't talk. Could this be a safety car? I'm not sure. I don't think it is. The leaders seem like they're going still at race pace, I believe. Or are they? Yeah, it looks like they are. So I don't think it's a safety car. I think it's just yellow flags. I think Bradley might have just retired in the pit lane. Yeah, I don't think it's a safety car. Just yellow flags. It looks like Bradley. Yeah, Bradley just decided to retire in the pit lane. So, yeah, Bradley retires from the race, similar to Mexico. And yeah, Bradley. Been rough going for Bradley in these past 2 races. Just kind of been a little over aggressive, in my opinion. Kind of just been making moves that were unnecessary and kind of just got himself in a bunch of incidents that ultimately end up in him retiring by choice. So, oh no, 3-second time penalty for Maddox Beard. And you gotta be careful because Billy Krieger is not far behind. So now it's gonna be a race between Maddox Beard and Billy Krieger for 4th. And Billy Krieger wants any position he can get to have the championship lead, maybe to try to keep it. Here we go. Lap 28, gonna head on to 29 here at the line. Fake, Crown, and Ward here. Top 3. That is your top 3. Oh, this is a little bit of contact with the wall for Royce Crown. This car still stays intact though. Gotta be careful though there. Thankfully, the F1 game is pretty forgiving in that corner. Unlike real life, where hit it hard, you probably DNF. It's pretty forgiving. But one thing you don't want to do is get wing damage from hitting the wall, because that would probably end your race if you're in this this tense top 3 fight. And yeah, what will Royce Crown do to try to get another home race win? This might be, I mean, it might be a more challenging win to get, unlike last season. Although Crown did have to fight Grant Ward for it, so I might take back what I said. But now Grant Ward, speaking of him, he is falling back out of the DRS range. That's what I was worried about for Grant Ward. I mean, he pit pretty early, tried to go for the undercut, and now he's just slowly dropping back and slowly just creeping back. And It's not good for Grant Ward. Just hasn't been able to manage his tires as good as the top two have been able to. But somehow, I think Royce Crown actually did have a mistake, because now Royce Crown is out of the DRS. So, no, he did get DRS, but right now he's out. He's 1.4 seconds behind. That is out of DRS range now. So now Royce Crown's going to have to work to get back into that DRS range. That is not good for Royce Crown. Now Royce Crown's gonna have to probably go 100% push here to try to get back in that DRS range. But at this point, I don't think there's much tire management with 6 laps to go in the Canadian Grand Prix. Yes, here we go. Battle for 4th. I think Billy Craig. Actually, no, Billy Craig, gotta keep in mind he also has a 3-second penalty. Forgot to point that out. Yeah, Billy Craig also has a 3-second penalty, so this is actually a fight on track between the Red Bull and the Ferrari. Because they both have 3-second penalties, so it equals out. But yeah, so here we go. 5 laps to go at the line. The Ferrari, Dylan Thake, looking to take another win on the season. His yellow flags, probably just for air, just trying to let them by, so it's nothing. I think it might be too late for a safety car at this point. Dylan Thake is just driving away from Royce Crown. Thake is just trying to get another win on the season, looking to get the championship lead back, and it seems like he has the better pace over Royce Crown. It's almost shades of Imola a few races ago. 2 races ago. It was both these two fighting for the win. Both these two have probably been the most dominant drivers of Formula Allegiant other than Sam Lewis. Both these drivers proving to be the real championship contenders here for this season, but don't count out a Magic Beard or a Billy Craig, obviously. He's championship leader right now, but I think Thake will have it. Oh, lockup from Dylan Thake. It's not what he wants. I think it was okay though. Don't think it locked up too bad, yeah. Yeah, Royce Crown just dropping off. This might not be as good of a finish as we had last season, but we'll see. You never know. Royce Crown could make up time, and Dylan Thake could always make a mistake. Dylan Thake's done good this season of not making those mistakes like he did last season. He's proven that he has improved. I mean, early in the season he was making those mistakes, but I think he's kind of turned around to not make those mistakes, but hopefully I didn't give him the commentator's curse. Here we go. Lap 32 in Canada. Thake just driving away. The British driver driving away from the Canadian driver. Both these drivers not American like a lot of the field are in this league. Me personally, I'm American too. We have the Canadian and the British driver both fighting it out here for this win, but might not be much of a fight because now it's 2.3 seconds the gap between the Williams and the Ferrari. It doesn't look like there's going to be much of a fight at this point. But you know how badly Royce Crown wants to win this race. He wants to get his home race win. As yeah, this teammate's going to give him the slipstream. This might be some team orders here for Ryan Ocon. Is Ryan Ocon 3-second penalty? Ryan Ocon giving him the slipstream. This could be team orders. And also gave him the DRS too. This is interesting. Ryan Ocon was not able to really hold up Dylan Thake though because he's ghosted as a lap car. So yeah, if we didn't have ghosting on though, it could have been a different story. I think Ryan Ocon might have tried to hold up the Ferrari. Now, something you gotta think about. I mean, the only issue is he might be giving off dirty air. I don't know if ghost cars really give off dirty air though. He's giving his teammate DRS. I mean, I don't know how much it's going to help, but it could help. So here we go. Now he's going to let him go. Honestly, if I were Ryan Ocon, it's not going to let him go. He's just off the racing line. Yeah, okay. I think he just gave Royce Crown some DRS there, I think. I believe. I would hope he did. He did, yes. And now it's all up to Royce Crown to try to catch up to Dylan Thake. What can he do? 2 laps to go. Can he pull something off? He's going to be driving the wheels off off that Williams. But will he have enough to try to catch the Ferrari? The DRS definitely did help, but how much did it really help? It's 2 seconds the gap. Slides off turn 2, and no, that's not going to help him. It just doesn't look like Royce Crown quite has the pace over Dylan Thake. Royce Crown dominated this race, but Dylan Thake took the lead late. And he's had the better pace here late on in this race. But one slip up from Dylan Thake could cost him this race win. As here we go. Through the chicane, Dylan Thake proving why he deserves this win. Royce Crown dominated, but Dylan Thake looking to steal it from Royce Crown. After a rough qualifying from Dylan Thake, he has made up for it, and he heads down the backstretch here for the penultimate time. Not looking like we're gonna have a finish like we had last season. It's just gonna be all Dylan Thake at the front of the field. Final lap here in Canada. Dylan Thake looking like he's gonna be able to cruise to this race win. We can just hang on for one more lap. Fight for fourth, something we've got to watch. Billy Kruger has gotten around Maddox Beard. This could be crucial for the points. Both these drivers, championship contenders. They want every point they can get. Oh, Beard slams the wall out of the wall of champions. But Beard is there. That's something you're going to have to watch. But Dylan Thake making his way through here. 2.4 seconds the gap. He has nothing to worry about. As heading up through the hairpin. Final time. Royce Crown has nothing to throw at Dylan Thake. Dylan Thake is able to back down the pace, and now he is able to cruise to victory if he can just nail the Wall of Champions. Last season, we saw a spectacular finish in the Wall of Champions, but we're not going to see it this season. It's all Dylan Thake as he heads to the Wall of Champions. Dylan Thake is going to win the Canadian Grand Prix. The British driver wins in Canada. Ferrari on top in Canada. And Dylan Thake wins. Royce Crown comes up just short in his home race. He was not able to go two in a row. And yeah, Grant Warren, who had heartbreak last season, he's going to come home in P3. Didn't quite have the pace to keep on the long run to keep up with the top two. But fight here, not really much of a fight actually. Billy Kruger is gonna take fourth place from Maddox Beard, and Beard just got a 3-second penalty also. But the Ferrari takes fourth position, and the Red Bull fifth, and oh my gosh, can't talk. Jonathan Hibbett is gonna come down the back stretch here, and here he comes. Jonathan Hibbett. Red Bull's going to be 5th and 6th. And yeah, both Red Bulls just had a disastrous race. They're going to come home 5th and 6th after being in contention for the win early on. And Landon Barrett now, final car to come over the line. Through the Wall of Champions. Landon Barrett now will come home in P7. After probably some chaos in the back of the field. But yep. That will do it from Canada. Dylan Thake, your winner here for I believe the 3rd time this season. So here's your podium. Yep, here's your awards. Dylan Thake, race winner. Fast lap goes to Maddox Beard, who also got pole. Driver of the day goes to Dylan Thake. Most overtakes goes to Jonathan Hibbett. Cleanest driver goes to Dylan Thake. Yep, here is your results. Dylan Thake wins Royce Crown second, Grant Ward third, Billy Krieger fourth, Maddox Beard fifth, Jonathan Hibbett sixth, Landon Baranow seventh, Ryan Ocon eighth, Rainer Ferrer ninth, and Bradley, who retired early from the race, he finishes down 10th. All right, that will do it here in Canada. Alrighty. Not the crazy finish you might have thought we would have seen after what we saw last season, but props to Dylan Fake for pulling away late on in the race. I don't know what I just did. Okay. Yeah, anyways, props to Dylan Fake for taking the lead late and pulling away. And Dylan Fake, congrats to him for winning the Canadian Grand Prix. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and hear from your drivers here. Your post-race interviews coming up next. All right. Here we go. Let's go ahead and head into your post-race interviews. All right, I'll just give this a sec for people to hop in.
I'm very disappointed in each and every one of you. No safety cars this race.
You didn't have the Alpine here.
I mean, we had a V-carb.
Okay, just give me a sec here. Pulling up the results. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so we'll just go ahead and start here. We'll go ahead and start with Ryan Ocon. So Ryan Ocon, you ready?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, Ryan Ocon, definitely another, I guess, quiet race. Bradley also just showed up. I'll interview Bradley after I interview Ryan Ocon. But, yeah, Ryan Ocon, it was just not the greatest race. After getting a solid finish in Mexico, you come home in P8. So yeah, you're kind of helping out your teammate Royce Crown at the end, but yeah, unfortunately, just wasn't able to really get up there yourself. So yeah, just walk me through your racing perspective.
Yeah, I mean, it's the least I could do being so washed. I had a league race at this circuit a few weeks ago. I qualified third, or it was second, and I finished second, and that was on strict corner cutting. So I guess I think to Bradley's point, I wish the game at least allowed strict corner cutting quali or like regular in the race, something like that. A little separation, maybe it would help. But in that race I had earlier in the month, we had a dry quali and a wet race, and I was like, all right, setup wasn't bad, but I'll find out here if it was really a quali pace setup or a race pace setup. And I found out as soon as the tires wore that it was a very big quali setup I had that day, the early part of the month when I raced at Canada recently. So that was really disappointing because I think qualifying, and it sucks it's this way, but it was more of a matter of who had pace, but also 50% of the qualifying session was who can cut the most corners and get away with it. And that's unfortunately what it was. And, I didn't want to risk cutting it and crashing myself. I wanted a lap. So that was really the big thing about qualifying, which had me back there. And then I get back there and you get stuck in dirty air, which is just really, really unfortunate. And Albert just joined the VC, and I know he's one of the drivers who is really agitated about that early on. But that was the most frustrating thing, and you could just go nowhere with it. So the whole time I was just trying to do something while my tires were killing itself from the setup itself and from myself. And I got in a few collisions. I'm not sure if you caught it on stream. It was with the V-carb. I'm not gonna spend too much time on it because I don't think the others would be too pleased with me doing so. But I'll just put this out there. We went side by side at turn 3. I think it's the second chicane. That's turn 3. And we collided. It wasn't too big of a collision, but we collided. I went side by side with the Sauber later on at turn 1. It was just fine. went side by side in the chicane, the final chicane, after I was ahead, and a collision happened, and that made me go a lap down really. So I I wasn't fast enough to keep up. It wasn't going to make a difference. I would have not finished anywhere different from it. So I don't really have any reason to be upset, but um, I don't know if people look at the clips, they'll at least say, "Hey, I did wrong. It's okay. I'll move past it." And he did that last week once he looked at it, and I'm not gonna submit anything. I'm not that bothered. Wouldn't have changed my race. But all I ask him to do is just look at the clips, and he'll understand that we both share blame in both incidents we had. So that's really that. Um, Maddox, I really don't know what the next race is, but it's really unfortunate between the two F1 leagues I run that all the time over here I have no luck and nothing to show for it. I have races like Mexico where I have no pace but get the result, whereas over in the other league, I'm somehow housing my way to a potential championship. It's really concerning. So I don't know. Tonight really summed up my season so far.
Yeah. Next race is Austria. We have a reverse race that race too. How do you think you'll do there?
Well, I'll tell you what. If we're gonna look back on trends and we're gonna be at least positive about something, I think I can look back at last season's race. I don't remember if I did the. No, I did do I did do the regular race, and well, Fade and I took each other out, but I had no pace in the regular race. The reverse race, I got a podium in the last corner, a little contact with Albert. So, um, yeah, um, I don't know. I'm probably looking forward to the reverse race. The main race, that could go either way. I think I don't know. I looked through the calendar a few weeks ago and I said, what track here coming up and even after is gonna make me enjoy what I got and maybe get a good finish. And I think it was both Austrias. So I don't know. I just want this damn bad luck to get out of the way. Every time I got pace, um, like even when I had pace tonight, I wasn't far off their lap times. I get nothing for it. Mexico, I had no pace, but I get something out of it. So I don't know. Just want some sort of equalizer. If I could have good luck in the Austria reverse race where I'll likely have pace, then it's a win. But you know how it goes, Maddox. I need it to rain. If it rains, then we got a real chance, and I hope that happens in
Uh,
the regular Austria race. So I don't know. Like I
I don't,
said, time will tell. Just depends.
I
Hope
don't
it
think
goes
the
well
person
though.
interviewing is Maddox.
Yes.
Oh, Price. Sorry,
Yeah,
Price.
they're
That's
good.
the second time I've done that. Price, Maddox, they're both in control, so that's okay.
Yeah.
Maybe. Don't kill me.
All right.
Sorry, guys.
They're good. All right.
And thank you for commentating, by the way. I also want to congrats Dylan on the win and Crown second.
Yeah, no problem. But also congrats them too. But yeah, we'll go ahead and move on to Bradley. So Bradley, you ready?
Yeah.
So yeah, Bradley, it was definitely an interesting race, to say the least. You unfortunately like to retire early on your own, but yeah, I mean, you did have decent pace, I think, but just a bunch of collisions didn't really help you out. So yeah, just walk me through your race.
Yeah. So unfortunately, like with my mistakes last race, I didn't get to do any quali, nor did I practice Canada this week. Um, I probably should have, honestly. But yeah, I had great race pace, and I found myself gaining position in the first 1 to 5 laps, I believe. I can't remember, but yeah, it was just little like collisions with like slower drivers behind me. I want to say, was it? I can't remember. I don't know if Billy, the turn in the hairpin, I hit Billy in the back a little bit. I guess he didn't have enough grip to carry his speed on the exit. So, well, I don't know what lap it was, but we can all see it on the replay. But every other collision, I'm sure that wasn't my fault. Um, but yeah, I just had, and I spun on my own as well. Coming into turn 4, I believe I spun on my back right tire. It had a bit hit a bit of grass, so that's just me having to be more aware of where my car is. So I mean, I didn't expect to gain anything out of the race, but had a great few first laps, so I'm happy about
Yeah. So yeah, we have Austria coming up next. Reverse week in Austria. How do you think you'll do in both races?
that. Red Bull Ring reverse. I haven't actually done that track ever. I've only done the regular one. It would be honestly fun because I don't really do reverse tracks on F1, so I can't really say where I'll place, but I have a really fast normal Austria uh lap, so hopefully it transitions to the reverse.
Yep. All right, we'll go ahead and move on to who is that? Let's see here. We'll go ahead and move on to I believe it'd be Landon Baranow. Landon Baranow ready?
Yes, sir. How you doing, good sir?
Yep, doing good. um, yeah, so Landon Baranow, you kind of had a quiet race. Might have got involved in some instance too. I'm not really sure, but yeah, you come home in P7. So yeah, talk me through your race.
Just really just kept it quiet all race, just kind of like how I did in Imola. Just where I qualified was where I was at. Had a bit of contact lap one with the Sauber when the V car went to go past me, leaving sector one. He kind of drove it in late. I mean, it was clean, but he drove it in there kind of late. I wasn't really expecting it. So as soon as he passed me, I immediately go and close the gap. And the B car, I reckon he also dive bombed it or he sent it. I don't know. But I broke his front wing off. Um, Other than that, the only time I saw people was just going through pit strategies. It's kind of stayed out. I think I was one of the few only people who didn't have a warning or not one of a penalty. So not really much for me to say here. I mean, I just was by myself the entire race, really.
Yeah. So yeah, we have Austria, the reverse race and the main race. How do you think you'll do in both races?
Both races, I was in contention for third. Last time we was here. Um, so the goals of top five. That's what I'm gonna expect myself to be. Um, yeah, I'm just as long as I keep it clean and do what I've been doing for the past 2 weeks and not get a penalty. We should be around there in top five. That's one of my better tracks.
Yep. All right, we'll go ahead and move on to Jonathan Hibbett. So Jonathan Hibbett, you ready?
Yes, sir.
So yeah, Jonathan Hibbett, you look like you had
Ooh.
you look like you had solid pace. You look like you had solid pace early on, but then you got the 10-second penalty, similar to Maddox Beard, which unfortunately was a big setback for your race. But you do come home in P6, and yeah, just walk me through your race from your perspective.
Yeah, I mean we had a good car pretty much all around today. I tried to get by Maddox lap one, coming into the end of the second sector, kind of pinched me a little bit into the grass, but no harm, no foul. But um, what really pissed me off was just the 10-second into the pits. I was at 50, and the graphic above my head, I was looking at it, showed a big red thing saying, "Oh, you sped, haha." Um, but no, it's unfortunate, but we were able to pull something out of our ass, kind of pull that Keegan Bradley comeback. Shout out Keegan Bradley. Go win the FedEx Cup this season, young lad. But yeah, I just I'm not upset. It's one of those better races that I've had this season. Um, but yeah, Austria reverse next week. That track can honestly suck a fat one. It sucks donkey balls for tire wear. But yeah, if I can bring it in the top six, like I did today, I think it's a positive race, despite the bad luck that we have had. But but yeah, if I can just bring it home top 6, it's a W in my book.
Yeah. So yeah, Austria. So you have Austria coming in next. How do you think you'll do there?
Well, I'm gonna emphasize on the answer that I
Oh yeah, you just yeah,
kind of
did.
provided. Yeah,
I
but
I
I'm
gotta
gonna
follow my
elaborate a
script. I
little
gotta
bit.
follow my script.
I see, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, top 6 or better is pretty much the benchmark that I'll set for myself. If I don't meet that, I'm gonna absolutely shag Dylan over there.
What did I do?
You didn't do anything. You were just the first name I saw.
All right. Let's go ahead and move on to what the heck. We'll go ahead and move on to Maddox Spirits. Maddox Spirits, you ready?
Yep.
Boo.
So, okay. Yeah, let's get Maddox's interview. All right. Anyways, so yeah, Maddox Spirit, you got pole position, but unfortunately you do come home on P5 after multiple mistakes. Got the 10-second penalty in pit roads. Some of the Jonathan Hibbett, your teammate, and yeah, it was looking like you had really good pace, but just a few mistakes kind of took you out of contention. So just run me through your race.
Yeah, well, felt good in qualifying, but I mean, I don't know. I didn't have a ton of expectations for Canada coming into this. It's not one of my. It's probably one of my worst tracks, honestly. Um, but I got pole. Felt pretty good. And into the race, obviously didn't get a good start like always, but kind of found out immediately that yeah, I got the setup completely wrong. I just screwed up on a few things, and yeah, I had no rear grip. I mean, honestly, the tires were gone after a few laps, so it was pretty much undrivable. But I'm also not gonna sugarcoat it. I didn't drive my best today at all. I made a lot of mistakes. It just wasn't. It's not your combination, and the pit road penalty was kind of stupid because my rear tires were so cooked that tried to slow down, they just really wouldn't slow down. So that didn't help either. And then yeah, at that point my race was pretty much done. I just spun again, I think, after that. But yeah, just lots of mistakes today. We gotta clean them up. But yeah, I just also gotta get the setup right next time. So yeah.
Yeah. So we got Austria coming up next, though, verse and regular race. So how do you think you'll do in Austria?
Well, I would say that's probably one of my better tracks. Actually, probably one of maybe my best, honestly.
Yeah.
But I know it's probably gonna be a DRS train, so it's gonna be kind of tough to really pull away and really dominate that race. But yeah, reverse race also should be pretty fun. I've never done Austria reverse. So I've never done a race there, so yeah, I want to go for a win there, but yeah, tonight was definitely rough. Definitely probably my worst race of the season. It was just not good. Not really much I can do with the car, but yeah, we'll head to Austria and try to get a win at the Red Bull Ring in the Red Bull. So yeah.
Yep. All right, we'll go ahead and move on to it's okay. Billy Carter's not here, so we'll go ahead and move on to Grant Ward. So Grant Ward, you ready?
Yep.
So yeah, Grant Ward, you finished on the podium. You had really good pace tonight, similar to how Mexico was, but just seemed like the long run pace just wasn't there, and you kind of dropped off once the tires kind of got worn. And yeah, it's just I mean you had really good pace though. I mean you still bring home a podium, and yeah, just. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to redeem yourself from last season, but you're still able to bring home a podium. So, yeah, just walk me through your race.
Eh, decent race. I mean, didn't have the fastest car in the long run, so was just hoping something happened. Other than that, I was just gonna take my P3 and move on, and really that's it. Just trying to have a shorter interview than Ryan did.
Yeah. Um, Alright. Yeah, I guess you are getting a short interview. Yeah. So yeah, I got Austria coming up next. So how do you think he'll do in the reverse and a regular race?
That, that is how I think it will happen.
Bro, had that planned out.
Yes,
Okay.
I did.
Well, that makes sense. All right. Well, yeah, that's a very great interview from Grant Ward. We'll go ahead and move on to your race winner, Dylan Thicks. Dylan, think you ready?
Yeah, but I don't have any sound effects, so.
Yeah, it's fine. But yeah, gosh. Okay. Anyways, I gotta keep it together. So yeah, Dylan Fake, you come on with the race win. Took the lead with like whatever what it was, like 10 laps to go. 10. My gosh, I cannot talk. 10 laps to go, and you were able to pull away from Royce Crown, and yeah, you just overall a pretty solid pace after you made the. My gosh, can't talk. He made up for a rough qualifying, and yeah, you come home with the race win. So walk me through your race.
Quali was a bit poor, P4, but then again, it could have been a lot worse. Race, start just got away clean, and then starting on the mediums was definitely the right thing to do. It let me pit a bit earlier and get the undercut. And then yeah, just saving tyres, battery, all that, and the usual stuff, and then I got past Crown just before we pitted, which ultimately got me the race. So yeah, can't complain. Car was really good, especially in a straight line. Much better than last week, that's for sure.
Yep. So yeah, heading into Austria, do you think you could go for another win in both reverse and regular race? I mean, you did it in Britain. Do you think you can do it in Austria?
Now, whilst everyone else's interview was going on, I was having a look at how I did last season, and it wasn't too great. So we'll have to see. Obviously, anything can happen. Just hopefully clean, pick up some more right points, and go from there.
Yep. Alright, well that'll do it for interviews. Thank you guys for racing, and yeah, that'll do it for me, so see you guys. Okay. Alright, well that will do it for me. I got another league race to get to, so as always, yeah, as always I got that league to get to. Yeah, I do a league like right after this. My Friday is always really busy with leagues, because I obviously drive myself. So, yeah, that'll do it from me. We got Austria coming up. Probably not next week. It's looking like next week is likely going to be off week. Haven't announced that officially, but it likely will be. And then, yeah, so probably be back in like about 2 weeks for both the reverse Austria Grand Prix and the regular Austrian Grand Prix. So, until then, see you guys, and that will do it from me.